Hey guys! Today we are going to do a project based on Grorgia O'Keeffe. Grorgia O'Keeffe was known for drawing really big, detailed flowers and usually really close up. She's known for other paintings, but those are definitely like her most famous. Like when people think of her, they think of her really big flower paintings. So this project is inspired off of those. For this project, you will need watercolors and a paintbrush and water. You'll need a paper and a pencil. You can also use acrylic paint for the background. That part's optional though. You don't have to use it, especially if you don't have it. And you'll need a reference photo. If you don't have access to a printer, you can just use your phone or your computer and look at a picture on there. If you want, you could just have an actual object in front of you that you're looking at, or if you have an access to a magazine or something, you can use a picture from a magazine. So for this project, you do want to pick something from nature. Think of something that's really colorful. Flowers obviously are a good idea. I've also had people do birds and butterflies, and those are really good as well. So also, if you want to know anything else about Grorgia O'Keeffe, make sure that you check out the website because I have my presentation uploaded on there and it has a whole lot of information all about her life. Alrighty, so to get started, the first thing you're going to do is draw your image on your paper, and you want it to take up the whole paper. You don't want to just draw it really small here in the middle. You want your picture going off the edges. We also want to try to draw it as similar to the picture as possible. So to do this, if you want, you can use the grid method, which is up on the site as well. Basically for that, you would need to have an actual copy of your picture, whether it be from a magazine or printed off. Basically, you draw a grid using a ruler. Gotta use a ruler. If you don't use a ruler, it won't work. So you'll draw a grid over your picture, and then you'll draw a grid on your paper, and then you can look and you can match up the sections and draw it accurately on your paper. If you want to use that method, go ahead and look it up. It's on my website. If not, just really focus. When you're looking at whatever you're drawing, really look at it. Don't just scribble something down and be good enough. A lot of the times whenever I'm drawing things, I actually use my pencil to help me measure things. So say that I was going to draw this mason jar. When I look at it, I'll use my pencil to measure how tall it is. Alright, so I'm going to have something drawn like this. I'm going to start drawing the top circle of it, but I need to know how wide it is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, it's about 5 eraser widths of this. So it's a fifth of it. So I have to make sure that my hole on my paper is about a fifth of the whole jar if I were drawing the jar. I'm not going to draw the jar though because it's not colorful and it's not naturey like I said we need to do. I'm going to cheat. I'm not going to actually draw something that I'm looking at right now for time's sake because I don't like making super long videos because I'm sure you guys lose interest. I know I would lose interest. Usually whenever I watch YouTube videos, I put them up on the double speed anyway because I don't have time to sit and listen to somebody talk for 30 minutes. And I know my last couple videos were 30 minutes, so I sound like a hypocrite, so I'm sorry. But if you don't know about the feature that speeds everything up, look into that because it makes life a lot better. Alright, so you're going to draw nice and big. Make sure that you draw really lightly as well, because whenever you go to paint, especially with the watercolors, all your pencil marks will become even darker, and you really don't want to see your pencil marks. If you have to, after you draw, take your eraser and kind of erase it to make it lighter. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and call that good enough for this example. Obviously, do your whole drawing before you start painting. Now, when we are painting, we are going to use a process called wet on wet. The way this works is usually whenever people use watercolors, they just dip their paintbrush in the water, dip it in their color, and then they start painting. What we are going to do instead is you're going to dip your paintbrush in the water, and I'm going to do this petal first, and I'm going to fill it in with water. I'm only doing this petal. I'm not doing anything else except for this petal. All right, then I'm going to choose my color. I'm going to get some yellow, and then I paint into it. And what happens is the water spreads it out. And then if I pick another color, let's say I go with some orange, it also makes them blend together a lot more. And it makes a really neat effect, especially once it dries. That's whenever you really see the outcome of it, because it dries a little bit differently than what it looks right now. Because the areas where there's a lot of water pooled up will be darker, and it just looks really neat. Alright, so after I do this petal, I don't want to do this petal right next to it. If you use the petal right next to it, or whatever it is that you're doing, you want to break it up into little sections. But if you do sections right next to each other, what happens is as I go to fill this in, now this water from over here is slowly seeping into this petal. You don't want that to happen. So instead, I'm going to skip a petal, and then I'll do this one next. And gonna get my paint. Don't forget, make sure that you clean your paintbrush off in between colors and all that jazz. Otherwise, you're gonna make your colors in your paint palette look a little funky. Alright, so you're just gonna go through the whole thing. You're gonna do a petal, skip a petal, do a petal, skip a petal, or whatever it is that you're doing. After you get all that done, it has to dry. Then you can go back in and do your other sections. Then, once you have the whole thing done, if you have acrylic paint, you can paint the background with acrylic paint. It'll just help your picture pop a little bit more. Usually, like with this project, I do have the students use acrylic paint, but I know a lot of you guys at home probably don't have access to that. Another option you could do is you could even cut it out and glue it onto construction paper. That might look really neat. And one other thing that with this project I usually have students do is I take Elmer's glue and I add some black paint to it, and you gotta mix it up. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but you get it all mixed up. Then you squeeze the glue on top of your pencil lines that you drew, or like you don't even have to do the whole thing. You can just do different sections just to make different parts pop out. Like on this, I would probably do it in this middle part where I would draw like my little seeds of my sunflower. I would probably take my black acrylic paint or my black glue and put it around there just to give this middle part some texture and make it more interesting to look at. Alrighty, I think that's it for this project. I will be uploading, like I've already said a million times, I will be uploading the presentation to the website. The presentation, it includes information on Grorgia O'Keeffe as well as this project. There's like a step-by-step example with it and all that. I'll also upload the handout for this project, which also has the step-by-step things listed right there for you. It also includes like some tips on like what to do, what not to do, and all that jazz. Also, like I already said, if you want help trying to draw a realistic picture, if you want your picture to look almost identical to your actual picture, make sure you check out the how to draw using a grid, because that's really helpful. That's something that like legit artists do, especially like whenever people make murals. A lot of the times they use grids. Well, now actually they use projectors a lot of the time, but before projectors were a thing, they used grids. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, as always, make sure that you email me. Make sure you check out the website and let me know if you have any requests for the next project. And keep sending me pictures of your artwork. I love seeing it. I miss seeing your guys' faces. I'm going a little stir crazy here at home. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going a little crazy. Bacon and Peaches are following me around 24/7. They're both chewing on a bone behind me as we speak. So, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're staying healthy, and I'll see you next time.